If you receive an email from your super fund telling you that your entire account has been drained, you would think that's a scam too, right? Let me get you up to speed. About a week ago, just minding my own business, I received an email from my super fund, Rest, with the title of "Your payment request has been completed." Odd. I didn't recall making a request of anything, so naturally I was a bit sussed. And with the recent scams that happened because of Optus's data leaks, I figured it was probably just another phishing scam and decided to ignore it. But I kept thinking about this email and I grew more and more uneasy about it. What if someone did take money out of my super? What if I actually was hacked? I felt sick and decided it deserved my time in investigating it. So I searched the email attached on Google and it was actually attached to my super fund. I looked through the email to find any spelling errors or funny grammar. I even cross-checked my member number and everything checked out. But still not wanting to risk anything and click on the link that was on their email, as I am not about to be another statistic, I went onto my super fund's official website and logged in for the first time. And lo and behold, after going in and doing some digging, my entire super fund was gone. All my money was transferred out without me requesting it, and I have no idea where it is. Now, I know you're probably thinking, why the hell am I recording a video at a time like this? And don't worry, I've got it under control. But if I have lost my entire super fund, the least I can do is whip out my camera and try and monetize the situation. You feel me, boy?
I guess that's fair enough, but how much money was actually taken?
I don't know, I think it was like 6,000 or something. So like, not too much.
Not too much. Dude, I mean, I get it. $6,000 doesn't sound like a lot, especially when you think of it in the context of super, but super money isn't just locked up to annoy you. This is how I like to think about it. You know, you and I, we're both choosing to invest in the stock market, and the plan is not to withdraw that money for decades because of compound interest. It grows the most effectively. But the reality is, with these investments, when the time does come to start living off the returns, there will be taxes to pay, and that's just how it works. But with the money invested in super, not only do you not pay as much tax when you initially put the money in, so you're able to start investing with more, but the investments themselves, they actually grow entirely tax-free. So if we think about your $6,000, I would not look at it as just $6,000, but what $6,000 would be worth in super 45 years from now, which you can calculate quite easily using a compound interest calculator. So it would be $6,000 initial deposit with no recurring deposits, invested over 45 years at a 10% interest rate, and that would give you $530,125. And that's completely tax-free. So dude, if I were you, I'd be on the phone right now with Rest trying to figure out where this money has gone, because as it stands, you've actually just lost over $500,000.
I just received an email the other day. I was just confirming that it was sent by Rest.
Right, okay. Give me a moment. I'll have a look into your account because your account is inactive now. So you had like $5,602.19 in it, and it has been rolled over to ATO. Is there anything else?
No, that is all. Thank you very much.
Hey, what's up, boy? How'd you go?
All good. My money was just transferred to the ATO, so I just have to create another super account now.
Well, I mean, that's not really all good, because as it stands, your entire super balance is just sitting with the ATO twiddling its thumbs. It's not earning any interest. It's actually being eaten away by inflation. So what I think we do is we go and create you a new super account right now. All you'll need is your personal details and your tax file number. It should really only take 5 minutes. As part of that, you'll need to select whether you want to do insurance or not inside of your super fund. And then the fun part is actually selecting where we want to invest this $6,000. Now, I will admit, picking where you want to invest this $6,000 is probably the most important part. But just keep in mind, if at any point in the future you decide that, the original investments you selected aren't what you want to continue having your money invested in, then you're actually, with most super funds, able to change that investment once a year entirely for free. However, if you don't take just a little bit of time now to think about what you want your money to be invested in, then in most cases, you're just going to be put straight into the balanced portfolio. And as you can see, those returns aren't actually the best over the long term when you take into account the other investment options that are available. And generally speaking, the way I thought about it for my personal super investment was, I'm not going to need to withdraw this money for decades, and so I'm probably better off going for the more aggressive options, those with the higher average annual return over the longer time periods, because I have time, if there are any dips, for the investments to recover. But what I would recommend for you, dude, is if you're ever concerned about what you're invested in, or you just want a second opinion, most super funds actually offer financial advice entirely for free. So, in a year's time, if you're like, well, maybe I have different goals or things may be changing in the market, go and speak to the financial advisor for free and just double check that what you're thinking is going to match up with what the expert has to say. But for now, when you go to choose, it'll actually be pretty simple. You'll have a handful of pre-mixed options, which are where the funds select what percentage of individual sectors they want to include and then give it a rating based on how conservative, balanced, or aggressive it is. And if you want to be even more detailed than that, you can pick from individual sectors and make up the percentages that work best for you. But that's literally it. And you can probably see why I always go on so much about super, because it's so low maintenance, and the tax advantages you get for the money that's actually invested make it an awesome option to grow your money without really even thinking about it. Now, in terms of ongoing maintenance, pretty much all you'll need to do is make sure that you know the logins to your super account, so you can go in and check if you need to download a statement or whatever, and just check how your ongoing balance is going. So all you do is just keep on top of your emails and make sure that you know your login details if you ever need to go in and check something. But that reminds me, I never actually asked, why was the money taken out of your super fund in the first place?
Well, the reason my super account was closed is pretty simple. Basically, because of the last 2 years, I have been self-employed, which means that I have no longer been working for someone else, which in turn means that no one has been contributing to my super fund. I haven't had an employer to contribute part of my wage to my super fund, and because I have now taken up that responsibility myself for the last 2 years, I just haven't put anything into my super. Now, what happens is that the ATO, in order to protect someone that isn't actively contributing to their super, because they want to make sure that fees and all these other expenses that your super fund might take from you, they sort of protect your account and they just close it, sending whatever money you had in your super to the ATO. Now, I looked in to see if I could just get that money out myself and put it somewhere else, but no, it is protected under super. So the only way you can actually reclaim your money from the ATO is by opening another super account and then requesting that money to be sent to that other super account. Personally, I think it's a bit tedious and kind of silly, because even though I wasn't contributing regularly to my super fund, I would have just preferred to have that money sitting there regardless. And many people might not even bother to actually get that money from the ATO back again. So all that money is doing is just sitting with the ATO, doing nothing for them to do whatever they want with it. But I'll take it as a learning lesson, and maybe I will contribute every now and again to my super fund.